Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Digital Weather Desk powered by Century Next Bank. Learn more about priority checking by visiting one of their offices in Monroe, West Monroe, Ruston, or across Ashley County. Thanks so much for taking time out on this Friday as we get set for this Thursday, as we get set for the weekend. Most of us will, as we go into Friday and Saturday, see some very pleasant conditions. And the prolonged dry conditions, not a problem for now, but could become a little bit more of an issue as the week progresses. Your forecast today made possible by ServPro Monroe, West Monroe, here to help 24/7. Call or click today. Temperatures across the region, mid-70s across southern Arkansas, low 80s generally across northern Louisiana. And as we go through the day, the drier air will continue to win over, and it's already making its presence felt across the region. Again, that is the plus side. We get some pleasant days through the rest of the work week and through the upcoming weekend. The downside to it is we haven't seen rain for a while. We haven't had any kind of really significant tropical systems or anything like that, any significant cold fronts, no big storm systems of any sort that has brought rain to kind of reset the environment as we've gone into fall. We ended the summer months on a fairly dry note as well. So again, not a big concern here in the short term, but could become a growing concern through the rest of the month of October if a pattern change isn't imminent, and it does not appear that one is headed our direction anytime soon. Dew points are already falling into the 40s and 50s across southern Arkansas and western Mississippi, but as you move farther southward, still holding on to the low to mid-60s as that drier air continues to slowly punch in on the back of northerly and northeasterly winds, which have been fairly breezy at times in the 10 to 15 mile an hour range. They were like this yesterday. I would expect them to continue like that again through the rest of the day today. Check of the satellite. Radar gets the day off today because, really, to be honest with you, there's no rain or cloud cover in our immediate area. In fact, you'd have to go about 100 miles offshore to really run into any cloud cover or move all the way into central Alabama. Now the cloud cover you're seeing off to our east could kind of get caught in the overall pattern and sneak our direction as we go through the day tomorrow. We do expect to see mostly sunny skies as we work through the day on Friday. Expect at least some degree of increase in cloud cover. Satellite radar composite doesn't show anything in our immediate area either. If you didn't see it this morning, here's the uploaded. Both mean the same thing in this regard. Here's the latest drought monitor, and again, it shows the moderate drought conditions across southeastern Arkansas, and then severe drought conditions still across portions of east central and southeastern Arkansas as well. The abnormally dry conditions are starting to kind of overtake and become more widespread presence across much of the lower and mid-Mississippi valleys. All that to say, we could really benefit from some rainfall, and unfortunately, none appears to be headed our direction anytime soon. Onethia, thanks so much for hopping in. A check of the temperature outlook over the next 6 to 10 days shows high confidence of being above average. The precip outlook over the next 6 to 10 days shows high confidence of being below average in terms of rainfall. 8 to 14 days, same story in terms of temperatures. 8 to 14 days in terms of precip. Generally the same story as well. It looks like what we've dealt with through September is going to carry through the vast majority of October as well. Obviously, there's been some subtle changes here and there, but not enough to really rattle the cages and bring any significant rain chances back into the region. Check of the water vapor imagery shows that exactly what we expected to happen has already panned out. The trough of low pressure and cold front bringing some drier air into the region into the short term. Our high pressure center aloft being pushed off to the west out over West Texas and the desert southwest, but it'll make its return later this week. Eddie, good afternoon. Hope you're doing well. And a look at the Futurecast made possible by Bayou Power Sports I-20 Frontage Road in Monroe shows the high-pressure system, again, centered over West Texas, and the northerly and northwesterly flow aloft for the next few days brings us some quiet days ahead, but by the end of this week and early next week, that high-pressure center moves back into place and basically sits right over the top of us. Now, usually, if we were dealing with that in August and July and August, we would probably be dealing with 97 to 103, and it would be extremely stagnant and hot and just awful conditions. Instead, we're dealing with it in early October, which doesn't really bring a lot of good news either, but at least it doesn't mean triple digits. It just means 90s. A lot of us will probably see the upper 80s to near 90 as early as Sunday, Monday, and then firmly in the upper 80s to near 90 degrees for the early parts of next week. So clearly, what I just showed you in the 6 to 10 day and 8 to 14 day outlook suffices. Temperatures will trend above normal. Sandra, good afternoon. Thanks so much for hopping in. Check of the visible satellite. I say hopping in a lot. It's not like you're hopping anywhere. You're probably sitting somewhere. But thanks for pushing a button and joining us this afternoon. Check of the tropical satellite shows Jerry. Maximum sustained winds right now at 65 miles per hour, getting a little bit stronger and still expected to become a hurricane, but also making that northerly turn over the next 24 to 36 hours, eventually brushing to the east, southeast of Bermuda, and making even a farther eastward turn after that. Again, not really expected to impact the U.S., outside of maybe some very limited impacts to Puerto Rico, but aside from that, looks to be kind of an open Atlantic storm that is not a big concern in the short term for us along the Gulf Coast or the East Coast of the United States. Your tropical forecasts are made possible by Russell Moore Lumber. Not just lumber. Check them out. Desert Street in Monroe. They have all kinds of stuff there. Go visit them. Daytime highs, upper 70s to low 80s across southern Arkansas and into western Mississippi, low to mid-80s for the rest of us. Obviously, the forecast has been tweaked a smidge, but it's nothing significantly different than what you saw this morning. I will say that overnight lows tonight will firmly reach the 50s in most locations. Jan, good evening or good afternoon. Thanks so much for joining in on the Digital Weather Desk powered by Century Next Bank. But again, most of us seeing 50s tonight. Daytime highs tomorrow, generally low to mid-80s, but some upper 70s may be sprinkled in here or there. It'll make for a pretty nice stretch of days, but the dry environment, again, cools down quickly at night, warms up quickly in the afternoon, so you're kind of at the mercy of the winds at the surface, and as those swing back around eventually to the east and the south and maybe even the southwest, temperatures will climb early parts of next week. Look at the 7-day forecast. Christina asked for the bring on the cold weather. I would love to. It's on back order for another 2 to 3 weeks at least, apparently. I can't control those kinds of things. Be cool if I could, though. Anyway, daytime highs will be in the low to mid-80s. Morning lows, upper 50s. Again, there will be some areas in the low to mid-50s across southern Arkansas, especially as we go into Saturday morning. Lots of sunshine. I went ahead and took quite a bit of the cloud cover out of the forecast. Rain chances are out over the next 7 days as well. So if you're looking for rain, it's not in the cards for us through most of the month of October. Again, September was very similar. October kind of panning out the same way. I like to think of it as Mother Nature doing us a favor before things get raucous going into November and December. We usually say October usually gets active, but it looks like most of the month, at least the early half of the month, will be relatively quiet. But I like to think that Mother Nature is giving us an opportunity to get the app wrapped up, get that kind of squared away, get settled into what we're doing here at the Digital Weather Desk powered by Century Next Bank, learning what works, what doesn't, and just kind of trying to get efficient and comfortable in this new space. And so gives us more of an opportunity to do that until the weather gets crazy again, which it will do. We know that all too well across this region. May, thanks so much. Gloria, hello. Good afternoon. And that pretty much does it for a look at the forecast. Again, joining you a little late this afternoon, a lunch date with the wife, if you will, and we went and grabbed something to eat. By the way, if you go to Flying Tiger, the weekly special is a collard green pork belly pizza. It was amazing. So if you get a chance to try that, highly recommend. Shonda, hello to you as well. She said hello, so I'm saying hello back. That pretty much does it for a look at the forecast. I'll join you later this afternoon. Your football forecasts tomorrow, and we'll have your fish and game forecast made possible by First South Farm Credit a little bit later today. Also, by the way, for our Instagram followers, if you're going, hey man, what happened on Instagram? Why haven't you been posting on Instagram? I usually send out to Instagram and Facebook at the same time. But that hasn't been working the last couple of days. So I did post the too long didn't read and kind of got caught up there, but I just noticed that was an issue. So I will try to right that wrong over the next few days. Thanks so much for stopping by the Digital Weather Desk powered by Century Next Bank. You can always check your latest forecast, latest radar at digitalweatherdesk.com. I'll check you later today. Enjoy the rest of your